because he wanted to get an independent sense of feedback from the people that are using it. Well, we did a big, advertisement program to just launch the fact that our global CIO had done that, and everybody, chimed in and provided some very intelligent, very positive, supportive reasons as to the value that this platform has brought to them, and they've had real-life examples of what it was like before when they had a question and they needed to find something out, and what it's been like now, because the community that this thing touches are people from around the globe. And this is very different from email, it's very different from instant messaging. It's very targeted toward topics and contents, and it's structured in a way that allows developers to go in, it allows engineers to go in and really find and search information. So we're at a point where we're calling this a pilot. I'm gearing up to, bring the results of the pilot, but by my comments, you can tell it's been very positive and favorable. So my view is we will continue in 2011 with this, and we'll look to expand it and build it into our overall program. So in summary, the collaboration that we have with our partners at Credit Suisse and the Business School really are built on these 4 fundamental learnings that I think have made what we've done successful. And top-down leadership is number 1. Like anything else, when you lead by example, you can make change, and that's what we've done here in this program on the IT side, along with our partners in the business school. We govern this thing, we invest in it, we spend time talking about it, and it's in our strategy, it's in our goals and objectives, and we've taken this actually into our performance objectives across this job family program that I've talked about before. We have that partnership. We continue to work with the business school, but we extend our other partners in HR. And finally, we think globally and we execute regionally. And that provides a level of distinction that allows us to adapt with unique differences that might exist in Asia versus America and so forth. So thank you for your time. I hope you found that interesting. And I will be available for any Q&A at the end.
Good. Thank you, Rich. All right, questions for Rich. We're going to take a couple questions, and we're going to have a break. And since I control the mic, I'm going to go first. Sorry about that. So my question, Rich, is if we can wind the clock back to the start, to the beginning of this journey, one of the things I'm curious about is what were the business drivers or challenges that drove you to make the change within the management committee, to create a human capital committee, to create a global learning committee? Obviously, these are big commitments of resources, big changes in your service delivery model. I'm curious if you can sort of wind back and remember and swim around a little. What was going on in business that caused you to say we got to change? We need a human capital strategy within IT.
It started when our firm made the commitment to unify itself under the business strategy of building a one bank, and we took the lead from that to create the One IT program that I described. And what was fundamental for us was to unify the different legacy IT organizations that had evolved over the many years, where they all evolved over 5, 10, 20 years. And it became, one of our goals was to unify IT. Very quickly, we came to realize that people are so important to everything that we do. All of our management discussions about process and procedure always fundamentally came back to people. Not having this consistent framework in place, not having a consistent process, was clear as day to us that we needed to really invest and do that. And as I talked, technology is a people business driven. People are the future when it comes to enhancing and building products and services. So all of those things I would answer, kind of came together about the same time and really became the big push for us to build this out.
Cool, got it. Question over here. Think up your questions. We'll take a couple questions and we'll take a break here.
Thank you, good presentation. So the question I would have is, when you went through this and you looked at retention, being able to recruit people and also develop more innovation, were those some of the measures that you were expecting? And I was wondering if you could kind of talk about what you expected and what you got as a result.
Our company is, we're pretty big at, driving improvement through the use of metrics. So we have a pretty robust human capital dashboard that tracks all the different indicators that you would think about. So we have consciously tied some of our improvement strategies back to those metrics that we've built into this program. And we're getting better at that, and we believe it is helping. The second thing that we do use, we have within our company an employee survey. And this is a process that our firm has had for a number of years, and we use it quite extensively within IT as a tool to really gauge how our people feel. And the message from our staff has been loud and clear over the past several years that they value career development, they value a learning organization, and part of our response is this program to specifically demonstrate our commitment to do that for the organization. And a lot of the things that we are doing, we reinforce that message back to our staff, and it's built into our recruiting program and our overall annual human capital management process framework.
Great. Next question.
John Flathman, Wipro Learning Solutions, Senior Practice Manager for the East Coast. Rich, congratulations on your success with your program. My question is, and you might have mentioned this and I might have missed it, your Web 2.0 strategy, the platform, what tool are you using?
That product is actually it's an open source tool that we brought in-house to build and tailor it to our needs. Help Exchange is the branding that we've given to it, and it's an open source tool that's open to the technical community. It's built off of Stack Exchange.
Great.
Thanks. Hey, question, Rich. Can you talk about any lessons learned for how you rolled out that Help Exchange? So for others that are thinking about rolling out any sort of a Web 2.0 collaboration, I'm curious what the secret sauce is to get the kind of uptake that you got. You have 2,000 people a day, really positive feedback. I know that you mentioned some top-down leadership, sort of walking the walk. Any other lessons learned? How do you make that success happen?
I think, clearly the leadership, you need that to start out. The second thing is, the people that steer and develop that platform have to have the vision and the time to really define the construct of how topics and the knowledge centers need to be set up, the roles around the administration of it. There are moderators. And all that planning needs to be done well up front, because once you roll out, you really orchestrate how that large community acts and behaves and uses it. So you need all that up front. The second thing, I think, is promoting it. We've consciously really pushed top down that we've invested in this tool and how we're positioning the tool. So we've had a big effort to really communicate the awareness so that we've achieved, I think, the early days of strong buy-in and usage.
Great, that's helpful. Maybe you could just comment too on branding, because I noticed you got Help Exchange branding, iDrive branding, and when you talked about the job family, the circle with all, sort of very cool branding, and I think for learning leaders, there's probably a whole bunch of lessons for how to get something out there that also drives value, makes change stick, where you have a bunch of successes here notched up. I'd love to get a secret lesson learned on the branding and what does that mean to you, and how do you think about that branding when you're creating these kind of large global change initiatives?
Well, over the course of my career, I've come to realize that the challenge of introducing any type of change, and I see this as an enormous change program, is strong communication. This stuff doesn't just happen overnight. You don't all of a sudden change people's behaviors. So we spend quite a bit of time on the topic of communicating. I'll use the term marketing. We leverage our corporate communication department, another colleague of mine in the audience, along with our business school. So we've come to embrace the value of having a consistent communication strategy when you need to drive change over a large organization. And we believe that having a consistent brand with continuous reinforcement and a continuous anchor off of that type of construct just provides a basis for people to understand and for you to continue to drive your agenda. And we're continuing with that.
Rich, thank you so much for your presentation. Congratulations for your success. I think I speak for everybody. We learned a lot of valuable lessons and nuggets on some of the successes that you've shared with us today that I think we can all take back and apply. So thank you very much to Rich Zaloom. Thank you.